What's up, everybody? It's MrmoviesXkicks, and as you can see, the review of Captain Marvel is coming up right after this. Now, as you can see, it's a lot going on right here. I am going to do something a little different than usual, most of my other movie reviews. As you can see, I have a pair of shoes, and as everyone knows, I'm Mr. Movie X Kicks, so I do a little bit both of the shoe and movie reviews. So this time around, I'm going to be doing both. I'm going to be doing both a movie and shoe review after I give you guys a little brief synopsis of the Captain Marvel movie. I will be talking about the shoes and the Vans collab with all of this that you see around. So, without further ado, let's get into the movie review first, and then we'll get into these babies right here. The movie starts out with Brie Larson, who is known as Versa, a member of the Kree's Empire Star Force, a group of deadly warriors. Versa and her crew must rescue an undercover operative infiltrating a group called the Skrulls, an alien shapeshifters with whom the Kree have been fighting for centuries. During the rescue, Versa is captured and subjected to mind probing, which unlocks her past. Versa then escapes to Earth, where she meets a SHIELD agent by the name of Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson. Nick and Versa, who on Earth finds out her real name is Carol Danvers. Nick and Carol must now stop the Skrulls from invading the Earth, looking for a weapon that can finally destroy the Kree Empire once and for all. Now that was just a brief, like I said, summary. As you guys know, if you're new, you know that I don't like to give too much in detail. Far as the movie reviews, I like to keep it kind of brief. But I'm gonna start. It's a lot of controversy going on about this movie. It's very good that women are finally getting their just due and finally getting their own female lead, but it's been a lot of big backlash about this movie, which we'll talk about. First, the positives about this movie. Ben Mendelsohn, who is the Skrulls leader, he plays a lot of villain. Almost seems like every role he plays is a villain, but he is a good key component of the success kind of this movie. He was very funny, and he was like a good slash. We thought he was a villain, but he kind of ended up not being a villain. So that was kind of a good key point of the movie. I thought his character was very funny, and he was very intelligent. I loved his character. The other good thing about this movie was Nick Fury. It was weird seeing Nick Fury in this because it showed like a much lighter side than we're used to seeing from Nick. He's just kind of like hard ass, big boss in all the other Avengers or other movies that he's in. So it was weird seeing him 30 years younger, and with two eyes. And the CGI that they used on him to make him look, 30 years younger was just, I almost thought it was kind of like incredible because you forget that it's CGI that they're using to make him younger. It's almost like they shot the movie like in 1990 and then just saved it and archived it all the way over here. Like that is how good of a CGI job they did with this movie and with Nick Fury. And then like most of the Marvel movies, it was humorous, it was funny, and a lot of good thing about this movie, it gave us a lot of unanswered questions that we had about where Captain Marvel has been throughout the whole Avengers saga, and it also gave us an answer of what happened to Nick Fury's eye. It shows how he loses it in this movie. But now to the bad. I have to say I didn't like this movie. I was highly disappointed in this movie. Brie Larson, I think everyone talked about how good of an actress she is. I've never really seen her in anything else, but I was kind of disappointed in this movie. And her, to me, it's almost kind of like it was like soulless, emotionless in her as Captain Marvel. Like I didn't see how she embodied this character of Captain Marvel. I was kind of really displeased almost around with the and everyone knows I'm a big action guy. I rate Marvel movies with Civil War being the top, and then most of the other Avengers movies as far as rate as action. So I love action, and I love to see action, especially from Marvel. To me, Marvel does action movies probably all of the best, and this movie lacked in action. It literally only had about really two action scenes, the very beginning of the movie and pretty much the last 20 minutes of the movie. And I was kind of really highly disappointed because another bad thing about this movie was the pacing. Like, the pacing of this movie was very slow. It was, I mean, even though it's an origin story and we have to get the origin, I still could have used a lot of action in between there, or just something that was kind of more entertaining. Like I said, it did have the humor throughout, somewhat, that we're kind of most used to with these movies, but even that couldn't really sustain this level amount of dryness. And, to me, like, in her, with Brie Larson's character, it's just like, I didn't really see how she embodied the role of Captain Marvel. It was kind of almost like I was just bored. And sadly, no, Anna Bolden and Ryan Fleck, they are the two directors who directed this movie, and I have to, say Kevin Feige, you dropped the ball getting these directors. I mean, I'm not gonna say don't get new directors, but when you're working, when you're around the 20, I think this is the 22nd or 23rd movie of the MCU universe, and we expect a lot from Marvel because they've given us a lot. This movie almost would have been should have came out kind of like in their first phase one. If this came out in phase one, this would have been a great movie for phase one because it wasn't very action driven. It was more story. I would have been okay, but we're in going to phase four. I expect nothing but the best from Marvel, and they let us down tremendously in my opinion. And it's been a lot to do about women getting their just due. I mean, they dropped the movie on Women's Day weekend. So I thought that was a good move as well. Kudos to Marvel and the people at Disney. But I just think they did an injustice to this character. And like I said, I'm not too much really immersed in the world of Captain Marvel. But, I've seen a couple people talk about how it's really bad as far as the comic books coming to adaptation. Like a lot of the things in the movie were off. You can't get everything true dead to rights from the comics to the big screen, but a lot of people were saying they messed up a lot of small things in this movie that just killed it. As far as just the movie alone was just, I was bored and I was highly disappointed. And sadly to say, DC actually came out with a better rendition of an all female lead with Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I mean, to me, like I thought Wonder Woman could use a little bit more action, but the pacing of Wonder Woman was done so correctly. You had the kind of beginning, middle, and end action, but the storyline in the movie of Wonder Woman, you felt Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. You felt the pain, you felt the agony, you felt the happiness. And kind of with Miss Marvel, you didn't feel those. I'm sorry, with Captain Marvel, you didn't feel anything emotional for it. It was kind of like we watching a shell of a person. Even though a lot of the movie she lost her memory, and even when she got her memory back, it was kind of like you still. And also, one bad thing I would say is I don't see how she's supposed to be the Superman of the MCU. To me, she was getting beat up by like normal people, and people who shouldn't have been a challenge to her. She's supposed to be this, great strongest person in the MCU. I just didn't see it. I was kind of highly disappointed. As you can see, I've revved up, got my Captain Marvel gear. I thought I was, about to find a new superhero. But I'm hoping in Endgame, when Endgame comes up, she does a better job. I'm sure she's going to I'm sure she's going to do a better job in Endgame or the next Captain Marvel movies as well. I just think Marvel should redo the directors. I think they should get a solid director, doing it next time around. But please, guys, drop me some comments. Tell me what you guys thought about this movie. Were you kind of disappointed, kind of like I was? Or I could be, mistaken. Did you like the movie? Everyone has their own opinion on the matter, but drop some comments. Tell me what you thought about the movie. Now, as you can see that now we're done with the movie, let's talk about these. These were the Vans and Marvel collab. It came out, I want to say, it came out last summer. And these were limited edition, but they weren't, very exclusive, hard to get. These are actually my first pair of Vans. Unfortunately for me, this size for Captain Marvel only went to a size 10 in women's or 8.5 in men, and I'm like a 10.5, but somehow I was able to fit into these, so I did wear these to the Captain Marvel movie. They weren't as tight as I thought they were, but a half size up would have been a lot better for me. But the collab came out last year, and I got this book bag as well to come with it. It was like $75, and these were $75 as well. And as we get into this, as you see, it comes with the Marvel Vans logo with a comic book like strip on the back. Now, as you can see, my shoestrings are gold, but they do come with a red shoestring. I just took it out to kind of give it a little more flair. Oh, I didn't realize that on the shoestring it has Marvel on the red shoestring that they come with. Now, like I said, as we get into these shoes, the first part of the midsole of the front is more of a suede, and as we get into the midsole of the shoe, it's more of a canvas material. And what I love about this shoe, it has the Vans logo, but it has it in gold, in a gold accents, because of the Carol Danvers or Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel's logo. I just love how they tricked this shoe out with the gold insignia kind of going around the shoe. And as you go into the back, it has more of that suede, but with the whole Captain Marvel logo in the back of the shoe with the star, which I thought was just a great touch for this shoe. It kind of makes this whole shoe kind of stand out amongst the others that was released in this whole collection. I have to say this is probably one of the best of the shoes that was released. And as you see the tag, it has the Marvel Vans. I've only worn these to the movies, and that's probably gonna be the last time I'd wear them because they were so small. And as you go to the midsole, as you flip it over, it's just a brown kind of honeycomb-ish look to the feel of the back. Like I said, this is kind of like my first Vans, but I just love the fact that the collaboration between Marvel and Vans was just a dope. And so I held it for this movie. I knew it was coming out, so I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and get it. Now it says Vans Marvel, and it has Captain Marvel in the sole of the shoe. The sole does not come out apparently on Vans. I just found that out. A couple other renditions of the shoes that came out. You had a shoe with all the different Marvel old school characters on it, and you had Black Panther. Let's see. You had Black Panther, Hulk, Spider-Man, the Avengers shoe, and you also had just like this backpack, and they had another backpack with all the characters on it, and they had a Marvel jacket and a couple t-shirts, and also a Black Panther and a Deadpool shirt came out as well. I've been saving this shoe for a while, and I knew that the time was going to come when Captain Marvel came out to kind of break it out and debut and do a kind of, I didn't think to do a 2-for-1 until the idea popped into me to just do a 2-for-1. I just did the review. I do the review and I do the Marvel Vans as well. So, as always, guys, MrmoviesXkicks is out. You saw the review that I did as well. So, and also leave me some comments on these shoes. What you guys think? I actually got a lot of compliments when I wore these to the movies. Like, a lot of people love these, and I love the gold shoestrings as a touch. So I'm not gonna do any on feet of these. Just the basic. I just kind of wanted you guys to see them. And as always, please subscribe. And MrmoviesXkicks is out. I'll holler at you guys later.